everyone. Today I am going to ask a question. What is the sound of one hand clapping? This is a question that has puzzled minds for centuries. It's a Zen koan, a riddle with no logical answer. But it holds a profound secret, one that can help us transcend the limits of our thinking. Dear friends, welcome to the Motivation Zone at Freedom, where we explore the deep mysteries of life and the power of mindfulness. Today, we're diving into one of Zen's most famous koans. What is the sound of one hand clapping? Have you ever come across a question so strange, so paradoxical, that your mind can't grasp it? This is exactly the purpose of Zen koans. They're not meant to be solved with logic, but to lead us beyond it, to awaken a deeper understanding within us. In today's video, we'll explore what this question truly means and how its wisdom can bring clarity and insight into your life.
In ancient Japan, a young student approached a Zen master with a burning question. "Master, what is the sound of one hand clapping?" It seemed like an innocent question, yet it carried a weight that the student couldn't fully grasp. The Zen master, in his calm demeanor, simply replied, "When you can hear the sound of one hand clapping, you will understand Zen." The student's mind was immediately filled with confusion. How could one hand possibly clap? It defied everything he knew about sound and logic. But the master's words, though cryptic, held deep meaning. They weren't meant to provide an answer, but to open the door to something beyond ordinary thought. Determined to find meaning in the master's words, the student began meditating deeply on the question. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and still, no clear answer emerged. Yet, he persisted. This wasn't a riddle that could be solved with reason or intellect, but rather one that required the student to let go of the need for a logical solution. For years, the student contemplated, each time going deeper into his meditation, peeling back layers of thought and expectation. In Zen practice, koans are not riddles to be solved, but rather tools to free the mind from the prison of logic. They are paradoxical questions or statements designed to challenge our usual way of thinking. When a student is presented with a koan, it's not about finding a clever answer. Instead, the goal is to dissolve the thinking mind, the part of us that constantly seeks explanations and certainty. Koans force us to let go of this need for resolution, guiding us towards a deeper, more intuitive understanding of reality. Koans serve as a gateway to enlightenment, helping practitioners break free from the constraints of everyday rational thought. By engaging with these seemingly unsolvable puzzles, we're pushed into a state of awareness where the boundaries between thought and experience begin to blur. One famous koan asks, "What is your original face before you were born?" It's another question that defies reason, inviting the student to contemplate the nature of their existence beyond the physical body and identity. As the student meditated on the sound of one hand clapping, he realized over time that his search for an answer was futile. The more he tried to think his way through it, the further he seemed from understanding. But through deep meditation and contemplation, he began to see that the point wasn't to find a logical answer, it was to experience something beyond thought. The years spent in silence were not wasted, as they gradually led him toward a moment of clarity, where the mind's chatter finally quieted down. In this stillness, the student realized that the sound of one hand clapping wasn't something to be heard with the ears. It was the silence itself, a reflection of the emptiness and stillness at the heart of Zen. The sound of one hand clapping is the sound of no sound, a metaphor for the essence of Zen practice, the silence beyond words, the space between thoughts. This realization wasn't intellectual, but experiential. The student had come to understand that true enlightenment arises not from answers but from embracing the mystery, the silence, and the present moment. The sound of one hand clapping represents something far greater than just a curious question. It symbolizes our inner stillness, the space between thoughts and actions. In this space, we find the essence of Zen, the quiet awareness that exists beyond the mind's constant chatter. Just like the silence of one hand clapping, this stillness is ever present, yet often overlooked in our busy lives. By practicing deep contemplation, like the student who meditated on the koan for years, we can start to access this inner stillness in our own lives. When we slow down, observe our thoughts without attachment, and create moments of quiet reflection, we gain clarity. This mindfulness helps us navigate life with more awareness, responding rather than reacting, and finding peace in the present moment. The koan also teaches us to embrace life's paradoxes. Just as the sound of one hand clapping defies logic, there are many situations in life where holding on to nothing helps us understand everything. Whether it's letting go of expectations, attachments, or the need for control, we open ourselves to experiencing life fully, just as it is. In this acceptance, we find true freedom. As we conclude, take a moment to reflect. What is your sound of one hand? What question or situation in your life requires deeper contemplation, not to be answered but to be experienced? Zen practice invites us to look beyond the surface, to move past the limits of logical thought, and to embrace the stillness within. Dear friends, thank you for joining me today on this journey into the profound wisdom of Zen. I encourage you to carry this reflection with you. Perhaps the next time you find yourself caught in a whirlwind of thoughts, take a breath, and remember the sound of one hand clapping. Zen is not about finding all the answers, but about letting go of the need for them. Until next time, stay present, stay mindful, and keep exploring the deeper mysteries of life.